Hi everyone. The market review came out for quarter two of the ViReb stats. I like stats, they're real information. I know that I scroll certain news feeds and it seems like if you are watching real estate news stories, the world is falling apart. It's a buyer's market and everything's dropping and crashing. I think I've heard the word crash used, I don't know, 5 times in the last week. That is not the case according to the stats. And I'll start with, so these are the stats for all of Vancouver Island, not just Campbell River. We'll go into Campbell River a little bit later. In 2005, we actually are up in residential sales, both in value and number. We're up 4.8% in the number of transactions. So stuff is selling in Vancouver Island. And 6.8% in value compared to the same period last year. That is because houses are continuing to go up in value, okay? However, we'll see that there is a softening in the market later on. So one of the things that is possibly going to affect the growth of real estate in Campbell River is the unemployment rate, and I'll let Byron talk about what that is doing on Vancouver Island.
Going over the unemployment rate, Vancouver Island is currently at 7.5%, and a little bit higher than the overall British Columbia rate, which is just hovering around 6%.
So one of the predictions from the doomsayers was that once interest rates went up, which they did, people would be forced into bankrupt and we would have this tidal wave of foreclosures. That did not happen because people were actually stress tested and the bank did not rise above the stress test limits. And now it has actually dropped. But don't take my word for it. Byron will give you the stats on bankruptcies.
Yeah, let's go over the stats with bankruptcies. So bankruptcy rates have been pretty flat since 2021. And going over the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board stats for foreclosures, there's approximately 50 for all of Vancouver Island. And that's been pretty consistent since 2021. So yeah, only 50, it's not many.
More than we want, but it's not a tidal wave.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about what is actually selling. And I want to focus on right now single family homes because that is still the bread and butter of what is sold in Campbell River. So the ViReb totals, all of Vancouver Island, including, or ViReb does not include Victoria. The sales actually are up. They're up 11.9%, and so is the benchmark price. Campbell River, however, we are 131. We are down 12% in sales, and we are down 0.2% in price. So prices are holding firm. 12% over a year to year this is year to year for quarter two. There is some variance because you can have a busy month. We had a very busy June, and actually it raised a lot of our stats. So we did notice. I don't know, I noticed it. Did you notice June was busy?
I did, for sure.
Okay, good. So let's talk about sale price. So one of the things we are seeing is that, yes, prices seem to have peaked in January. We are seeing a softening of the market. It is suggested that this is going to be the third slowest since 2015, the third slowest year for ViReb sales. However, one of the contrary facts is that our months of inventory is actually quite low right now. It's 4.2, which is almost at the low end of a balanced market and almost touching a seller's market. So we actually don't have a lot of inventory in Campbell River. Houses that are priced well are selling. However, there is still a softening, and part of that is probably because of media, probably part of that is because people are feeling the pinch of inflation, and inflation is not going anywhere. So home sales right now, we are below 740, probably about 737 right now. And at January, or February, which was the peak, we were at 750. I've noticed a lot of reductions. You just did a couple of reductions, so
I sure have.
yeah.
Yeah.
If you want to sell your house, you want to price it right. And if you haven't sold your house in a couple of months or weeks, it's overpriced, right? There's no magic secret buyer it's in the end, it's going to be money that is going to move that house.
Further to what Chris was saying in regards to price reductions right now, one thing for anybody buying and selling in the same market is you're trading at the same value. So, hey, if your prices or your home's been reduced 10%, well, whatever you're buying back into is going to be at the same rate. So, a little price adjustment if you're buying in the same market, no problem.
Another indicator of how fast inventory is moving or houses are moving is the number of days to sell. And currently we're sitting at 30, which is the exact same number as June last year. And again, yeah, we're seeing a softening, but we're also seeing sales. And so we're not seeing double-digit reductions across the board. We're seeing some people that were expecting to be at the height of what everything was, which was in February, but we are softening, and if you price it right, they are selling.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about condos and apartments, because not everyone lives in a single family. We don't have as many condos being listed right now. There has been 10 in Campbell River. Last year there was 19, so that's almost a 50% change. Units reported sold was 10, and last year was 13. So thank goodness that is actually a better stat. We had less listed and almost as much sold. So condos are moving, but we don't have as many on the market. The sell to list ratio this year, it's 100%. So that also shows that there is a need for listings of condos. I mean, I get it. It's nice. Nobody wants to sell their ocean view condo in the summer. So, townhouses, this is where the stats are going to really surprise a lot of people. This year we had 21 units listed. Last year there was 7. There's 7 sold, 7, like, townhouses are selling out. Everyone knows there's like 128 new townhouses being built, and they have sold phase 1 and 2. Chris Mailman has sold phase 1 and 2 of those, and they're starting phase 3. So those are historically cheaper, but they are selling. First home buyers are snapping them up, and even some retirees. I have talked to retirees that are thinking of moving into townhomes.
And that project is 82 units or 84?
I think it's 120 something.
The initial.
We'll get back to you.
Initial.
I have that stat actually. And one of the things is land. It is pretty much at a standstill in Campbell River. This year we had 7 listed. Last year there was 14, so we're down. Again, we're not making more land. Units reported sold 1. Last year there was 2. So we are down in land sales. Okay, you want to talk about interest rates? I mean, they're driving everything.
Sure, let's talk about them, Chris. Yeah, the interest rates bottomed out 2020, 2021, and we're slow and steady all the way up to 2023. The bank has been doing reductions and is currently holding steady. Discounted rate right now, you can get a 5-year variable for 3.95, and some places are even offering a 3.85 for a 5-year fixed. The Bank of Canada is open to potential rate drops in the future, but with the uncertainty of our neighbors in the south, everything's just holding steady.
Yeah, I think each time they maintain the interest rate or consumer confidence grows, and we probably will see people that were sitting on the fence about buying because of the uncertainty of interest rates jumping into the pool and starting to purchase again. I still don't see this major crash that is being described in Ontario. And actually, I believe that Ontario, they've seen dips in the values of houses in the 30%, and we are, I think, around 5%. Vancouver Island on a whole, we're down no more than 5%. And Campbell River has actually seen an increase in value of houses sold. So we are not Ontario. We don't have the problems that they did there. We have a little bit in Vancouver, and I think the thing driving the crash talk is the condo market. And who knows where all of this media is coming from? Maybe competitors that are trying to run their people out of business. But there was a lot of condos built that haven't sold. And that if you can't sell something, that means an oversupply, and that means prices have to drop. It's supply and demand.